Hello Fanatics, I'm Dylan Phillips, and these are my thoughts on what rewrites I think could have saved the film The Mummy. Watch out, there are spoilers. So as I said in my review, The Mummy is a film that doesn't know exactly what it wants to be. Half of the time it comes across as a mummy horror film, whereas the other half it comes across as a monster universe adventure flick. The tone in this movie is all off as you have some horror moments, but then it tries to blend with some light comedy that just never hits. Some characters are merely plot devices if anything, in particular Jake Johnson and Annabelle Wallis. Change the tone of this film so that it's much darker. Dry humor is not going to work for a dark universe, and Jake Johnson's character is alright, but he needs to be a little less of this comic relief character and a little bit more creepy as a zombie. Annabelle Wallis needs to be a strong female protagonist because she's stepping into the shoes of one of the greatest female characters in recent time, and that was Rachel Weisz's character in the original Mummy franchise. So the fact that she was this plot device for Tom Cruise and a damsel in distress did not work for this movie. And most monster movies have a monster with redeeming qualities, kind of showing that they're misunderstood, but this one had no redemption. It was just a pure evil monster. And I think you need to have a few scenes that depict that this character is beyond this heightened sense of evil and that they actually have a full, well-rounded character. So here's a quick summary on how the story would unfold with these couple changes. I think that the story should have played out with beats similar to that of Iron Man 1, rather than trying to rush through building up a monsters universe similar to how DC did. The main story of the mummy seeking her love and cursing Tom Cruise's character is a good storyline. Keep it. However, downplay the lighthearted comedy that you have in this movie between Wallis, Johnson, and Cruise. Use more of the film to focus on the mummy's background and take out the whole Prodigium plotline. Yes, this is a major change, but hear me out. Prodigium is the Monsters Universe equivalent to S.H.I.E.L.D. So in Iron Man 1, you have the main storyline where Tony Stark is fighting his adversary, and S.H.I.E.L.D. appears, but they're not really there for the majority of the movie, and that's what Marvel did well. They have this government agency who is kind of behind the scenes for the superhero universe, and yet they didn't throw them in your face. They had them subtly there in the first few movies, and then eventually they had their own TV show, and they were much more prominent in the Avengers. And that's what they should have done with this film. The Mummy needed to have its own spine rather than be a few pages in a larger book. Remove Russell Crowe from the movie even though he's one of the best parts of it, as well as the Prodigium plotline, and focus more on the Mummy and give her a well-layered character. Now you could end the movie in a number of ways, but I think the best way is to have Cruise's character take in the evil mummy's powers and go off into the distance. But throughout the movie he has discovered that there's this secret society that's been funding or following him, and that Annabelle Wallis was a secret agent for this society. The post-credits scene would be Tom Cruise's character going into some secret base that has some protection over it that subdues his powers, and he's all of a sudden attacked by Russell Crowe playing Mr. Hyde. As they get into this fight that would be similar to the one in the movie, he would end the fight with eventually making sure that Tom Cruise is down on the ground for the count, and he would inject himself so that he comes back as Dr. Jekyll, and he would welcome him to Prodigium. And if this scene ends up being a little too long because of the fight sequence, then I say have it as the final scene in the movie. It has a little bit extra action in the conclusion, but then it sets up for an entire universe without throwing that in your face in the middle of the movie. With these changes, I think this story could have been a lot better. It would have had more horror rather than attempts at light humor, and it would focus more on the relationships of the characters and defining this mummy character and showing more sides to her rather than making her seem like this very evil character that has to be caught and put into a laboratory to be examined. Anyways, that's my rant on The Mummy and what rewrites I think could have saved it. If you've seen The Mummy, what did you think of the story? And what rewrites would you make to save the story? Let us know in the comments below. I'm Dylan Phillips, and thanks for watching. If you like this video and you want to see more, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Check out our Film Fanatic review where we discuss the film, The Mummy. Don't forget to follow us on our social media. And until next time, Fanatics, keep it real.